on here. We live. We're gonna sit up and wait for the people to jump in here. Yeah. It was good. It was good. It was good. We're gonna wait a little bit. Let a few more people jump in. You see what the topic is, man. We're talking about Shakur, Jay Prince, Javante Davis. Right. Talking about everything tonight. We're gonna get into it. We also got to get into that Ryan Garcia Tank fight, man. I definitely want to talk about that tonight. Let me see if I can drop a comment in this motherfucker. Post a comment. Paste that up in there. Bam. Drop that up in there. So anybody, if you want to jump in this, you can jump in, man. You know what I'm saying? Make it a broadcast so everybody. I got a question for you, bro. Can you hear me good? Drop something in the comments so I can know you can hear me all right. Yeah, mic check, 1 2 1 2. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get into it, man. So here's a question. Right now we got them talking about Floyd and Errol Spence and this legendary sparring that happened, right? So my thoughts on what happened in that sparring is like, well, before we talk about what happened in the sparring, my thoughts on the sparring period, or us even getting the news about the sparring, I think it's kind of strange that the information is coming out now after all of these years, or any commentary at all is coming out, whether it's true or false. I mean, it's irrelevant. Floyd nor nobody in his camp ever spoke about this sparring session. Errol Spence nor nobody in his camp ever spoke about the sparring session. Anybody that was there, only thing they ever said was that it was good work, you know? So no one ever really spoke about the sparring session. So it's a little strange to me that now um, somebody's getting so detailed into what occurred in that sparring match. Okay, so they get into it, and they say that Errol gives Floyd some of the best work he's ever had, right? And so Errol gives Floyd some of the best work he ever had, but in the process of which Floyd gives Errol a nice uppercut, to which he gets hit, he gets hurt, right? Do I believe that's possible? Yeah, I believe that's possible. Floyd is a power puncher, and it's been said over and over again that he hits harder in sparring than he does in actual matches, right? So that's absolutely possible, especially if Errol is giving him the work that they're saying he's giving him. I could imagine that Floyd would be laying down some more power behind the shots. But again, I don't know. Either way, does he have a reason to lie? I don't know. I'm not one to judge. So here's a question, right? Does it even matter at this point? Does it matter whether Floyd was able to rock a young, not quite fully tested Errol Spence? Does it matter if young, athletic Errol Spence was able to be dominant against severely aging Floyd Mayweather? I don't think it matters either way. I think there's enough gray area for either side to argue out that neither outcome matters in the end, right? So I think this is just more fodder for the blogs and people to talk about, but and it's a little interesting, I guess, a little interesting because the reality is the best possible outcome for everybody is that if we would have actually seen the sparring match, I think that would be worth some pay-per-views. But talk about Devontae Davis and Ryan Garcia. Shout out to whoever it is that's just joined. Drop a comment in the comment section so I know you can hear me all right and everything is good, man. But let's talk about Devontae Davis and Ryan Garcia fight, right? Here's the question. People always want to talk about who's going to win and who's going to lose. But let's talk about if we really even believe that this fight is going to happen. Yeah, they're putting a lot of energy behind it, but you got to realize that these two guys are promotional specialists, and Ryan Garcia in particular has been using bigger names his entire career to promote fights, right? I cannot see a scenario where Oscar De La Hoya or Ryan Garcia puts himself in the ring at this point with Devontae Tank Davis. I just don't see how it makes business sense unless Ryan Garcia, who at this point seems to be 1 foot in, 1 foot out of boxing, unless Ryan Garcia plans on retiring after this fight with Tank, he gets a big check and he retires. I just don't understand why a Ryan Garcia versus Tank fight happens. I think it would be a great. No, I don't think it's a great opportunity for Ryan at all, and I don't think it's really that much of a interesting fight for Tank. I think if Tank goes in there and knocks him out embarrassingly, I think everybody kind of expects that, right? I think if Ryan goes in there and ends up winning somehow, because it is boxing and he is skilled, but if he goes in there and ends up winning, then yeah, that's great for him. But at the end of the day, Tank is not really a champion. So that gives him a lot of prestige. Don't get it wrong, but Tank is not a champion. So I just don't see really the point of this fight for Ryan Garcia, right? I don't see any business sense in making this happen. So I think this is cap again. I think this is cap just along the lines of the Tiafimo and everything else. I don't think this is a real thing. Somebody drop something in the comments so I can know what y'all feel about that, man. I'm curious if anybody else is thinking like that. Like it's possible that this fight might not actually happen. You know, because it's interesting to me. It's interesting to me how you take somebody fresh out of retirement, fresh out of mental instability, and you throw him directly into the lion's den with the best knockout artist in boxing. It just doesn't make sense to me. Maybe I'm crazy, but it just doesn't make sense to me. So I don't think that fight is going to happen. Let's talk about Shakur Stevenson, man, and Jay Prince, and NBA YoungBoy, and his girl. What's her name? Young Lyric, right? Man, I did a video talking about this, and if any of y'all seen it, I was talking about how NBA YoungBoy and Shakur Stevenson share a girl. Now, y'all might think that means nothing, but just remember that Shakur Stevenson once had a full-on boxing match with the brother of his girlfriend. Oh, you know what? I should save this for a video because this is fucking hot. This is hot stuff. Shakur Stevenson had a full-on boxing match with Joet Gonzalez, I think his name is. I forget what his name is. Joet something, right? This was the brother of his girlfriend. He had beef with the brother and the father because he was messing with the girl. And so the brother was a professional fighter. So they lined up a fight between Shakur and old Joet. So that already shows you how Shakur feels about his girls, right? Well, NBA YoungBoy was running around with Shakur Stevens' fiance, baby mama, wife, whatever she is to him. He was running around with her, sliding to that herpes infested nyan yan yan. You know what I'm saying? Something went bad between them. They didn't just separate ways. Something went bad between them. And shortly after that, NBA YoungBoy took a visit out to Texas. On his visit out to Texas, NBA YoungBoy's house gets robbed. His garage gets robbed, and they rob merchandise out of his cars. Shortly after that, Jay Prince makes a video stating that he has NBA YoungBoy stuff and that the boys broke in and he wants to make it right. And they want to make it right. And he looks over and says, Shakur, tell YoungBoy what you got for him. Jay Prince, NBA YoungBoy, who was dating Shakur Stevenson's baby mother, right, gets robbed in Texas. His garage gets robbed in Texas. Then the video comes out of Jay Prince saying that the people who broke in want to make it right with NBA Boy. And he points over to Shakur Stevenson and says, Shakur, let him know what you got. And then Shakur says, yo, NBA, we got your umbrella, we got your keys, and we got a whole bunch of other stuff. Come get your shit. NBA YoungBoy proceeds to flip out all over the internet and stuff like that. But it's a real thing that nobody runs. This is a real thing that happens. Right? And these two guys are linked between this girl. For those of you that think that this girl don't got nothing to do with it, remember, Shakur Stevenson already had a whole professional fight over his girlfriend before. Not this girlfriend, the last girlfriend, right? Shakur Stevenson fights over his women, right? He fought Joet Gonzalez over his last girlfriend. They try to shut me down. It's too hot. Somebody must have reported. Yo, they try to shut me down, y'all. Let's get back to it. You know what I'm saying? Joet Gonzalez. Joet Gonzalez is the brother to Shakur Stevenson's last girlfriend. I don't remember her name, but that's her brother. Him, the father, and the brother were getting into it, and they decided to line up a fight over that girl. Shakur Stevenson's beat up the fucking brother in front of his sister, in front of his father, in front of the world, and took the girl home right in front of the world. That really happened, right? NBA YoungBoy and Young Lyric, Shakur Stevenson's current baby mama, a fiance. I'm not just gonna call her baby mama. She has a title of some sort. I just don't know what it is. But She's the mother of his child. She was with NBA Youngboy. There was a bad split between them. Words exchanged horribly. NBA Youngboy takes a visit to Texas. His garage is broken into. His vehicles had items broken into and robbed from them. And then Shakur Stevenson pops up with the items and says, we got him. We ready to return. Am I crazy? Somebody drop a comment in the comment section, man. I can't be crazy, man. I'm not making this up. What the fuck Shakur Stevenson's, pardon me, YouTube, for cursing like this, but what does Shakur Stevenson's, what is he mixed up in? What kind of action is he really getting into outside of the ring? What kind of action is Shakur Stevenson really getting into outside of the ring that he's ended up with stolen property of one of his girlfriend's enemies? Oh, Shakur's about that action. It's 100% fact. Shakur's about that action. See, a lot of these boxers, they ain't never been in the streets. They act like they street guys. They never been in the streets. They were in the gyms their whole lives doing the right thing. Shakur came out with an image like he ain't never been in the streets, like he was a good kid. But if you take a look at him, oh, he's in the gutter. Like he's in the hood. This is not no little innocent Shakur anymore. Now, I don't know if he's always been like that or if he's because of who he's surrounded by. But I know for a fact that you can see it on him now. You can see that edge. So I'm curious to find out, because usually when boxers get that edge, they start knocking people out. See, street guys from the street, oh, we box, yeah, but if you're not knocking people out, right? And I think Shakur is gonna start really knocking people out because he's starting to get that anger in him. He's starting to get that hood anger in him, and Shakur Stevenson is gonna start putting people down. There's no question about it. Shout out to the new joiner, new viewer. Hey, drop something in the comment section, man. It's like everybody's scared to comment, man. Don't be scared. Yeah. Anyway. So, what we talked about? We talked about Shakur. We talked about Javante Tank. We talked about Errol Spence. Right? For those of y'all that's just joining, man, we're talking about how Shakur Stevenson likes beating up people that are associated with his girlfriends. You know, Shakur Stevenson's always defends his women in a very public way. And it's like nobody seems to remember. We're going first, for those of you that just joined, we're going to remind y'all, Joette Gonzalez, right? That was his girlfriend's brother. Him, the brother and the father, they got into it. It was so serious that they lined up a professional fight. Shakur got to beating on Joette in front of the world, and then he went home with his sister, right? Then we're going to talk about Young Lyric, who was with NBA Youngboy, got in an issue with NBA Youngboy. They broke up. NBA Youngboy takes a trip to Texas. His car garage gets broken into, his cars get broken into, and Shakur Stevenson pops up on video and says, NBA Youngboy, I got your shit, come get it back. This really happened. Yeah. Y'all welcome to the stream. This is what y'all in for. Y'all in for me just opening eyes and waking shit up, making y'all see shit. Welcome to the stream. Yeah. This really happened. Go on Google it. Go on look it up on YouTube. It's there. I got the videos. It's there. Yeah, Shakur Stevenson popped up on fucking live video, straight up. NBA YoungBoy, I got your shit. Come get your shit. Holla at me. He on there with Jay Prince, big gangster. Jay Prince basically said straight up, Shakur broke in your shit and took your shit. He trying to make it right. That's what he basically said. Hmm? Now you think it's a coincidence that they share girlfriends, or you think Shakur, you know, got a little get back for his kid's mama, for his daughter's mother? Young Lyric, yeah, Young Lyric. That's Johnny Dang's niece. Yeah, yeah, Johnny Dang. You know, TV Johnny. You know, the dude that make all the jewelry for the rappers. Yeah, yeah. Shout out to the people who just joined. We talking about Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson, Mister, do something to my girl and I'm gonna beat the shit out you or come rob your crib. Shakur Stevenson, y'all forgot the video with Shakur in the garage beating the hell out of the whole motherfucking garage? Huh? He knocking out dudes. He knocking out fucking chicks by accident. He knocking everything sideways, all in the garage. Hmm? He knocking dudes straight out unconscious, leaving them in piles. Huh? Y'all want to say he got pillow fists and he can't hit? Huh? Huh? Shakur got that evil in him right now. He got it in him right now. He's smoking that bud. he out there in the streets. Yeah. So it's Shakur, yeah, and NBA YoungBoy got robbed by Shakur Stevenson. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. NBA YoungBoy got robbed by Shakur Stevenson. Hmm? It's on video. Jay Prince said it. It's crazy, right? What's good, bro? What's good, Modern King? Shout out to Modern King Boxing. We're gonna give you a shout out right in the stream for dropping a comment. I appreciate that, man. I like to know that we vibe so much, you know. Anyway, we're gonna get right back to it. Shakur, what's going on with your boy? Somebody tell me something. What y'all think about this? Tell me what you think about Shakur robbing NBA YoungBoy because he tried to play his girl. They got the same girlfriend. Little jelly. Shakur don't play with his woman, man. What y'all think about Shakur having a professional fight with Joette Gonzalez? Well, I hope that's his last name because I keep saying Joette Gonzalez. I sound racist as hell if that's not his last name. But with old Joette, what y'all think? Because he done fought Joette over his sister, beat him in front of his sister, and then took the sister home. Then he done robbed NBA YoungBoy over his baby mama because NBA YoungBoy was fucking his girl, Young Lyric. Shakur Stevenson is on tape telling NBA YoungBoy, you got robbed. I got your shit. Come and get it back. Yeah, man. We just trying to bring links. We just trying to really break down and try to figure out what Shakur Stevenson is really into, man. We got the fight Shakur had in the garage. It was him and his homie, and they fought a whole army of people. Dudes, girls, everything. And they knocked everything out. They knocked everything out in that garage. Okay? So we got 3 incidents that I can see right on tape. You don't gotta question what's going on. Right on tape. Shakur doing real personal shit, personal damage to somebody. Even the Joette fight, I'm not gonna call that a boxing match because them two didn't belong in the ring together. That was personal. Only because they both were professional fighters, they decided to make a money thing out of it. But if Joette wasn't a professional fighter, Shakur would have beat him up at the house, I believe. I think he'd have beat him up right at the house. Man, man. So now that we here, let me ask y'all a question since y'all here, man. Do y'all think Tank and Ryan are actually gonna fight, or you think it's all cap? Because I think it's all cap, man. I think Ryan Garcia is pulling a fast one. I think Tank knows it. I think Tank might be in on it too. I think they're just promoting their current fights and just making their names hype. I don't see any reason why Ryan and Tank should be fighting each other. It just don't make no sense. It don't make no sense that they will be putting Ryan in a ring with Tank. Right? Somebody let me know, how does that make sense that we put Ryan and Tank in a ring together? Right? It's like ruin his career. So unless Ryan is planning on retiring after this fight, which is very possible because he got 1 foot in and 1 foot out of boxing right now. So unless Ryan is planning on stepping out of boxing after this fight, I think this fight is not really going to happen. I think Ryan is doing what he's done his entire career. He's used Devin Haney's name, and he's using Tank's name now. He's used Tank's name before in order to promote his fights and what he's doing. And I think Tank is thinking, oh, this is a great promotional scheme too. Garcia and Garcia, blah, blah, blah. So they promoting it. Right? So I just don't think Ryan and Tank are gonna fight each other. You know? Somebody, what's up, y'all? Thanks for joining. You know what I'm saying? Drop a comment down in the comment section so I can know who you are. I'll give y'all a shout out. Yeah, I just, yeah, Modern King. I don't see why it would happen. It makes no sense to me that it would. Who on Ryan's team believes that he can beat Tank? Right? We all know that Ryan is skilled. I'm not just going to throw him out the window. We all know that he's skilled, but the experience level and experience gap is crazy. Hey, shout out Al Capulon King. Let me see. Let me pronounce that right. Capulon King A King L. Al Capulon King L. Shout out to you. All right, so Capulon, let me ask you a question. I don't think Tank is with the fake fight shit either, right? I don't think so either. But so let's say Tank is not in on it. You really think they're gonna put Ryan in the ring with Tank? You really think Ryan's people, Garcia, Golden Boy, and De La Hoya is gonna put Ryan Garcia in a fight with Tank? Look at what Tank did to Rolly, right? That's just what inexperience does. Like I don't think so. That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying, King. The IQ. I just don't see how possible Tank is gonna set a trap. Ryan's gonna fall into it. He's gonna get knocked out. He's gonna get knocked clean off his feet. So I just for me, I don't see. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm gonna drop a link down here so y'all could join if you want to join. Yeah, there you go. I dropped the link down there. Anybody want to come up on the panel and see? I don't even know if I'm doing the panel shit right. It might not be. Y'all know how to. I'm a next video for sure. I'm gonna have the panel up on the next live so that more people could join it. Everybody can get a topic. You gotta do neck exercise. It's facts. Shout out Eric Black 60. Shout out to Eric Black 60. 60s. Oh, that's that shit. Let me not shout that out. Shout out to you, Eric Black. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that's all this is. Tank already said he don't care about no wills. It's Tank will show up. That's a fact. Tank gonna show up, right? But I believe Tank will show up, right? I'm with you. I don't think Tank is with the fake fight, right? Even though Tank is his own boss now, so promotion has to be first in his mind, right? But I can't see on Ryan's side that nobody's putting him. If you wouldn't put Ryan in the ring with Devin, like if they jumped and skipped all the way around Devin Haney, like why in the world would you put him in the ring with Tank? That just makes no sense. Ryan has had success against Devin Haney. He's beaten him, right? In the amateurs, yes, but at least he's beaten him. You're going to put him in the ring against a killer? That don't make no sense to me. And I'm not even trying to save Ryan. If they put him in the ring, I'm definitely going to watch that fight and watch him get flip-flopped all over the mat. Because he's going to get knocked out worse than Rolly. He's going to get knocked down worse than, what's the only name that knocked him down before made him look like a doofball? See, it's one thing to get knocked down, right? It's another thing to get knocked down looking like a doofball. Live today. It's late on the East Coast. Next time, I'm subscribed. All right, that's what up, Minor King. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate the subscriber, man. I'm gonna make sure to subscribe back to your shit, man, for sure. Yeah, but so Modern King, man, we don't believe that Tank and Ryan is gonna happen, right? So what do we think is happening with Ryan's career, right? Because he's not really fighting nobody. What do we think is happening? Is he using boxing fame in order to get some type of promotion outside of the ring? Because I just don't understand. At this point, as long as he's been out of the ring, it doesn't seem like he's even a viable candidate for any real fight. I don't think you can put Ryan in with any real competition before you put him in with some real step-up fights. I think he's starting his career over again. Like, can Ryan go in the ring with the Lomachenko? Can Ryan go in the ring with a Luke Campbell? Oh no, he did Luke Campbell already. Can he go in the ring with what's this guy's name? A Lipinets? Like, can Ryan go in the ring with some of these B-level fighters? Right? He's been going there with D levels and C levels, but can he go in there with like a B-level fighter, right? And really impress? And I don't think so. I don't think he can. I think Ryan Garcia might be done. So is Tank tired of all the choppy talk? Who can and can't beat him? Devin been talking hella noise. Same with Ryan. Rolly tried but failed. So now I think it's deeper for Tank. You right. It's deep for Tank. I think the thing with Devin, right? And I respect all forms of boxing, right? But Devin, his character is flawed to me, right? And like I said, I respect all forms of boxing, but I believe that if Devin were to fight Tank in a professional fight, I think Devin would be on his bike. I think that Tank is too short, and I think that Devin would outpoint Tank throughout the entire fight. I don't think that Tank would be able to get to him often enough. I think if they were to actually have a real fight as opposed to that on your bicycle shit, everybody knows that Tank could knock Devin out because Devin has a questionable chin. He's been rocked multiple times and he doesn't have any power. I think he might have less power than Shakur, which I didn't really think was possible, but I think it might be so. I think he might have less power than Shakur. I think Shakur's power is increasing. Yeah. But my question to you guys is, okay, so I think Tank would beat Devin. unless Devin stayed on his bike, which he most likely would. Hey, Joseph, shout out to you. Yeah, man, for sure the sparring partners matter, man. Sparring partners for sure matter, man. But these guys are all at the top level of their divisions, right? So I think they're going to have great sparring partners. No problem. I think that's going to give Tank a. Uh, that's true. Shakur for sure Shakur for sure is going to be a problem. Tank does know how to cut the ring off. He does know how to cut the ring off, but Devin knows how to run. Devin, I mean, it's been proven. Devin knows how to run. You know, they claim that he's elusive, but I don't think that Devin is really that elusive. Shakur is elusive. Devin is not really elusive. Devin fights scared. He fights like he's scared to get hit. And if he does get hit, he runs, you know, or he grabs and it's just but Tank does know how listen, Tank got Devin beaten every and I don't wanna remove ring IQ from the statistics. I don't want like Tank can set traps, Tank knows what he's doing. So if Devin gets comfortable in there, which he does often do, around about 9, 10, and 11, if he gets comfortable in there, Tank can end the fight with one punch. We all know that. Devin in general is sloppy. I'm waiting for Devin to actually mature and turn into a different a different fighter. He's still to me a kid. I think he needs to put in. I think he needs to go up in weight class. I, I mean, he's starting. I'm starting to understand what people say when they call Errol Spence a weight bully because I'm seeing it a lot in Devin. You know, they're walking around as completely different people than what they're fighting at, man. And you know, I think it's costing. It might not be costing Errol Spence as much, but it's definitely costing Devin a lot on the power side. Devin can run a marathon. Shakur knows how to move. Get an ankle. That's a fact. Aggressiveness is be hell of a fight too. Hell yeah. That's right, Eric Black. That's for sure. Shakur is the tactician, man. And I think Shakur is about to show the world something real different in a minute because if you think about it, I think Shakur is coming. He's getting a little bit of that evil in him, man. His surroundings look like they've changed. The people around him look like they've changed, and he's bringing some hood into the ring. You know? Yes, exactly. King L for sure. Exactly. That's exactly what Devin is going to do. Jab, 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 and Tank is short, man. Tank is short. How do you set a trap for somebody who's intent on jabbing and stepping away? Man, I just whoever fights, who will expose the other with a loss. Joseph. Yeah, I mean, but that's a fight, Joseph. It's going to be like that no matter which way you think about it, right? When two people fight, one is going to expose the other, right? So I agree with you with that. But the question is, you know, who's going to be doing the exposing? I think Devin can expose himself even with a win. And I think that because it's boxing and we have to respect all boxing styles, he will be praised for the style that he wins with. Um, we have to be careful with boxing, right? And celebrating some of these fighters in the way they fight. Because what happens with boxing, think about boxing like basketball, right? Steph Curry has changed basketball forever. So you got to think about it like the big guys and all the big dunkers and all the big centers and power forwards, all of those guys have been removed from the game. Everybody's shrunk down and everybody can shoot threes now. And the three shot has been gone all the way to that half court where people are shooting threes comfortably. So boxing is the same way. And right now, Floyd came in, Floyd changed the entire boxing game, right? Boxing was something that everybody wanted to be slugging and hitting hard like a Tyson. And then they wanted to be Roy. And after that, the people just decided to turn into freaking Floyd. Everybody's fighting with the shoulder roll. Everybody's being defense first. And then everybody wants the 0 on their record. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants that feeling. So Floyd changed the way of boxing, and he's changed it for all of the young and up and coming boxers coming up, to where the shoulder roll is a prominent thing in African American fighters. Like almost every African American fighter right now coming up uses the shoulder roll. So we have to be very mindful when we're looking at these next set of fighters, young fighters coming up, because their style, if dominant enough, and it's all about the kings of boxing. So the reason why Floyd's style won out is because he was fighting amongst the kings, right? And there were so many people in the welterweight division, and his style was dominant, undefeated, and he won against everybody, okay? Whether you say he did it at the right time or not, he won against everybody. He won, and so his style became the one that was passed on to the youth. Now, as Devin, Shakur, Tank, Ryan come up, Teofimo is no more a question. So these are the guys. Ryan may soon be out of it, but let's just focus on Tank, Shakur, and Devin. As these three come up, whichever of their styles defeats the other two will be the dominant style for the next set of kids, next set of young boxers coming up. I think Floyd's style will still proliferate through, or perforate through. I don't know which is the right word, but I think Floyd's style will still come through because all three of those boxers, Tank, Devin, and Shakur, all three of them fight with a little bit of Floyd, right? So it's so crazy that Floyd's style will definitely be passed on to the following generation. So he's like a grandfather in boxing right now, right? So it will pass on to the next generation. But the question is, will it be Floyd's Shakur style, not getting touched, Floyd's Tank style of shoulder rolling and knocking people out, or is it going to be the hybrid style of Floyd with Devin Haney that's going to take over? Shout out, Joseph. I appreciate that, man. That's for real. Devin and Teofimo. Let's see how that works out for him. Speaking facts. Mayweather changed the schematics of boxing forever. For real. Regis a rough one, and he ain't fall for that grabbing shit. That's a fact, too. Dev not going to last at 40. Dev ain't gonna let. He better. You right. I think you're right. Devin is gonna have trouble at 140. I feel like if Frank Martin was to move up to 40, the title holders got a problem on their hands. Yeah. Frank Martin is a pressure fighter, and his stamina is up there with the best of them. He's bringing power, consistency throughout the entire fight. So yeah, I think Frank Martin is a problem maybe at 140. But the question is, if he's a problem at 140, why don't they bring him up there already? I mean, there's almost nothing down where he's at. Do they want him to champ out down there? You know why? But anyway, let's think about it like this. Let's think about we spoke about Tank. We speaking about Tiafimo and all of these. Let me ask y'all a question. Since y'all here, since we here together, Spence Crawford, is this fight even possible anymore? Hmm? I'm starting to think that the fight is not possible anymore. The closest we've ever been to having this fight was just recently before Crawford did the Avanesian thing. Why do I say that it's not possible to Spence Crawford fight? It's because the big issue in the last negotiation was that Crawford was screaming for 50-50. Right? Spence didn't want to give that up. I think in the end they may have. It's a little gray area. I don't know, but I think maybe they may have in the end because he definitely wanted to fight. I don't think Crawford wants to fight Spence either, Eric, man. Black. I don't think he does either. So if Crawford is screaming 50-50, and we all know he didn't deserve 50-50, let's just be honest. Let's put the facts aside. Crawford didn't deserve 50-50, but he was screaming for 50-50 in that for that fight, and that broke the negotiations down. Then after Crawford decides to fight Avanesian and flip the table on everybody, which puts a bitter taste in everybody's mouth now. Okay, so that hurts negotiations. But he fights Avanesian, and then Spence is being forced by the fans, by the boxing rankings, by everybody that's involved, and by his own pride to fight a big name. You notice Spence is not being offered anybody that is not a big name and a possibly dangerous opponent. Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao, Boots Ennis. Like, these are the options for Spence. So if Spence fights one of those three, which I don't think he'll fight Boots and I don't think he'll fight Pacquiao. He could fight Pacquiao just to spite Thurman, but Thurman is the better fight. We all know it, right? But if Spence fights any of those three, then how do we go 50-50 when we're talking about Spence versus Crawford when we're looking at these guys' resumes? Spence Crawford's resume don't even compare to each other now that he's added Avanesian to it. There was no comparison to their resumes before that. But now that he's added Avanesian to it, how do we compare their resumes once Spence chooses his next fight? If once Spence chooses to fight a Thurman, or chooses to fight Pacquiao, or chooses to fight a Boots. And speaking of which, why are we even acting like there's a comparison between the two careers? Let me see. Check it though. I'm like this. If I want to fight you that bad, I have a goal to achieve. I'm not tripping on no 50-50, right? I want to go around your waist. That's a fact, bro. That's what Crawford said. He said it himself in an interview, but he was talking about Errol Spence. He didn't know the tables was going to flip the way they did on him. And then he was going to have to make the choice whether or not to make a 50-50 or go to fight. He said that if you sitting there arguing about the money, you must not have no confidence in your abilities. Because if you confident in your abilities, you know you're gonna win. Ain't no risk, is guaranteed money. So why was he arguing about the money? That didn't make no sense. Okay, so maybe he didn't want to fight, or maybe he did. I'm I'm not the boxer, but I know that these boxers aren't scared to get in the ring unless they get to the point of their career where Terrence Crawford is at, and they have to think about legacy, right? People are comparing Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford as if they are at the same point in their career. They are not. Errol Spence's career is geared towards greatness. Terrence Crawford's career is geared towards bag chasing, right? Manny Pacquiao is selling legacy right now because he's bag chasing. And Terrence Crawford is not, which I think he should be, he's in Ohio, is going to end up bag chasing and selling his legacy. And I don't think that he wants to sell his legacy right now. I think that he understands that it's a likely chance that he won't beat Errol Spence. And he thinks the price for selling his legacy needs to be higher than what it is. No. So what we on, y'all? A lot of y'all wasn't here in the beginning when I started talking about Shakur and NBA Youngboy and how they linked through Shakur's baby mama, Young Lyric. How Young Lyric got into a problem. Oh yeah, Crawford knew he wasn't ready for the type of EJ. Oh, that's a fact. We know EJ is a dude that breaks shit up. But I'm gonna jump over to this Shakur Stevenson situation, right? And I want to talk about how we know that Shakur Stevenson, he likes to beat up the dudes that mess with his chicks, right? He done had a fight with Joette Gonzalez over Joette's sister, right? That was a professional boxing match about Joette's sister. Then NBA Youngboy's girlfriend and him, they break up under bad terms. NBA Youngboy and the girl have some words over the internet. I don't know what it is, kitty shit, right? But they get into it. Then NBA Youngboy takes a trip to Texas. His house gets broken into, his cars get broken into, items get missing, and Shakur Stevenson pops up on the internet with NBA Youngboy stuff saying that he gotta come get his shit. And sitting next to Shakur Stevenson is Jay Prince, brokering the whole thing. Tell me y'all seen that. Tell me y'all seen Jay Prince get up on live and say, yeah, them boys broke into your shit, took your shit, we gonna make that right. Oh, go ahead, Shakur, tell them what they got for you. Tell them what you got. Then Shakur gets up there and says, yeah, young boy, come get your shit. Huh? Shakur's in the streets, y'all, for sure. Yeah, the umbrellas, yup. That was Shakur right in the video talking about, yeah, come get your umbrellas. Huh? But what did your brother point out that Shakur's baby mother is Young Lyric, and Young Lyric is NBA Youngboy's ex-girl. Did he point that out? Jameson Edwards, shout out to you. Thanks for the comment. Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Did we point that out though? Shakur is for real in these streets. Huh? If you look at Shakur, if you look at his face, his eyes is changing. If y'all know street guys, his eyes are changing. He's starting to look like a hood dude, man. Yeah, when he gets back in the ring next time, I promise you, Shakur gonna start knocking people out. Mark my words. Shakur is gonna start knocking people out, man. Cause he a hood dude now. He on the block. Shakur's out in the street smoking that bud, right? He defending his woman, defending his lady. He robbing rappers. He beating up people in garages. He done set up professional fights with his girlfriend's brother, beat up the brother in front of the fucking whole family, in front of the world, right? So Shakur's a whole gangster, man. He a whole gangster. And y'all better pay attention to Shakur, because what y'all thought Shakur was gonna turn into, oh no, Shakur got something else he gonna turn into. Something else a whole lot tougher. Shakur is gonna be amazing. Oh, we thought he was gonna powder and pillow fist his way through. Oh no, street guys, they don't pillow fist. Shakur gonna start knocking shit out. Understand his skills ain't kind that he's using the street. Or, yep, sitting down somewhere, he trying to be. Oh, that's a fact. That's a fact. See, that's the problem with a lot of these guys that get this money, get these millions, and want to run around with street dudes. Let's not forget that Shakur Stevenson was standing right next to Takeoff when Takeoff got shot and killed. He was standing right next to him when he died. Right? That bullet could have just as easily hit him. Right? So so Shakur is definitely in the mix of some real scary situations and scary people. But I don't think Shakur is an innocent bystander now. I think Shakur is a participant now. Okay? I mean, it's clear as day. Shakur, NBA young boy, got into it with his girlfriend. They broke up. Shakur gets with the girl. And then NBA Youngboy's crib gets robbed in Texas, and Shakur pops up on video with Jay Prince saying, "We got your stuff. Come get it back." Oh, that was some gangster shit. Ask AB. Oh, that's a fact. Let's go ahead and get into Adrian Broner. Let's go ahead and get into Adrian Broner, right? I'm glad you brought that up, Eric. You know what I'm saying? Adrian Broner. So my thing with AB is AB is a dude that sits. AB is like the Sean Porter. Sean Porter is the skilled version of what AB is to fame. Woo, that was good. Let me break that down for you. Sean Porter was the bar. If you fought Sean Porter and won, you were elite as a fighter. If you fought Sean Porter and lost, it don't matter how big your name was, you were not elite as a fighter. Sean Porter was the bar. Okay. Adrian Broner is the gateway to the fame, right? So if you once you fight Adrian, you are on that path to Playboy, living, cover. You don't have to be a title champion or nothing like that. You on your way to be famous. So why do I bring this up? I bring this up because of our boy Boots. People keep talking about Boots versus Spence and Boots versus Crawford. That fight will not and cannot happen. It is 99% impossible because Boots has absolutely no record. He's not tested. Man, they're not gonna mess with Adrian. Adrian brings too much money to the game. You know what I'm saying? They might smack him on the back of his hand real quick, and he'll get right when he need the money, man. But back to it. Boots is never gonna fight Errol Spence or Crawford. Not because he don't want to, but because it just doesn't make sense on their path. Crawford, if you offer him a big enough bag, he takes a bag for anything. So maybe he might do it. He's a bag chaser, but it don't make sense on Shakur. Yeah. That's possible. That's possible. Shakur got himself in a lot of bad situations. They might do him something bad. He got some real criminal situations going on around. But Boots needs to fight AB. The only problem with Boots being able to fight AB is that AB doesn't need the Boots fight. He'll take the Boots fight for a big check if Boots has a belt. So Mr. Jerron Ennis got to get him a belt. And the only problem with that is that the people with the belts, they have all of the belts. The people that will never fight him are the ones with all the belts. And the reason why he needs to fight Adrian Broner is because if he fights Adrian Broner, he can now legitimately make a claim to fight a Terrence Crawford or a Errol Spence. I don't see any other fighter that Boots could fight to put him on that pedestal where he could fight a Errol Spence or a Terrence Crawford. The problem is that he's not even on the pedestal to fight Adrian Broner. You know, Adrian Broner is a huge name in boxing, titles or not. He's a draw. So Boots, Crawford, Boots, Spence won't happen. Here's the sad part about Boots' career. I think Boots' career is stuck in limbo, right? I don't think Boots will ever have a blockbuster career. He's already 8 years in, right? And on top of that, I mean, he's only 25, so it's not like late, but there's nobody ahead of him for him to beat, right? When Spence and Crawford move up and drop the belts is when he'll fight for the belts. But the problem is nobody for him to fight for the belts at 147. There's just nobody there, right? And let me see. Videos, but not right now. Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. Speedy Ellis, that might be a good fight, but I don't think it does anything for a name. You see, Boots he's in a place where his name is being associated with those that are still right now. But those that are still right now are not right now for him. But his name is being mentioned with them. So because his name is being mentioned with them, it doesn't make. He needs one of their names. He needs a big name to get on a platform of that standard. I think that's where he's trying to go. He's trying to give that Showtime action, right? So a Speedy Ellis doesn't do it for him. He needs maybe a Speedy Ellis. He needs something to get him to Broner. Boots needs a fight to get him to Broner. Somebody drop down in the comment section. Somebody tell me who can Boots fight to get him a fight with Adrian Broner. Who can Boots fight to get him a lead up with Adrian Broner? AB created his own Floyd type image and somehow maintained it without being undefeated. We're gonna always want to watch him. That's a fact. That's a fact. Ortiz would be a great fight. Oh yeah, Ortiz would be a great fight. That's true too. That's true too. Ortiz would be a great fight. Shout out to Eric Black for that comment. Ortiz would be a great fight. Okay, but does Ortiz get him Adrian Broner? Or is Ortiz just another great fight? Because we gotta think we gotta think about it, right? Adrian Broner already said it's about legacy for him. He's racking up the money, but he's also racking up the accolades. Fought this champion, fought that champion, fought that champion, you know, two-time world champion. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that's the type of thing that Broner's into right now. So for Broner, the fight got to make sense. And for Boots, the Ortiz route, you talking about the boxer route, getting praised for the skill and all of that in boxing and getting the belts. And I think that boxing has changed, right? And I think that thought process is really gone when it comes to boxing. The Thurman way, I don't think Thurman takes that fight. If Thurman wouldn't take the Spence fight, why would he take the Boots fight? I don't think Thurman takes that fight, man. That's one thing for sure. His skills are inspiring a lot of up and coming. All right, but here's the problem with Boots, right? Because I love his skills. I love watching him fight. But there's another fight that I love to watch fight too, man. Roy Jones Jr. And we all know that a sad day came in his career, man. I don't even like to talk about it. I don't like to discuss the guy who he fought because my heart broke. And there's something to say about athletic fighters that really, really use their athletics in the ring. That there's a point that's going to come in their careers and happens to every one of them. That somebody's going to catch them. They're going to lose a step and somebody's going to catch them. Or they're going to miss a step and somebody's going to catch them. Do we think that that's going to happen to Boots? That's a good question for y'all. Do we think that Boots will either lose a step at the end of his career and end up getting hurt really bad like a Roy Jones? Or do we think that Boots is going to get caught doing some of the antics that he gets caught with and get hurt really bad like a Prince Nassim? Right? There are a number of fighters, and we know the showboats. The showboats have gotten embarrassed time and time again. I'm not going to take that fight. He definitely wanted the Spence fight. He was training for it. So, yeah, he definitely want that Spence fight, boy. Spence got 3 belts, though. If he gets in that, that's a big check for Thurman. Big check. But Thurman didn't look so good in his last fight, man. Let's say he had to knock some rust off. Hey, let's talk about that Thurman Manny Pacquiao fight. Do we think that Manny Pacquiao won that fight because he was so much better than Thurman, or we think Thurman was rusty and he just needed to work his way up? That's why he lost that fight. Why did Thurman lose to Pacquiao? I really want to know that, because in my heart of hearts, Thurman versus Spence is the better fight than Pacquiao versus Spence. In my heart of hearts, I just don't think Pacquiao has any business in the ring with Spence. I think that Spence is going to wallop and embarrass him real bad. So I believe that Thurman is the better fight. I think that Thurman is the stronger and better fighter at this point. So if that's the case, why did Thurman lose to Pacquiao? Shout out to y'all for coming in now. Drop a comment in the comment section. I'm reading comments out and I'm responding too. So don't think that you just commenting for no reason. Y'all could chop it up with each other in the comment section too, man. RJ was a supernatural being, so much so that team allowed him to fight the same way all the time. That's a fact. That's a fact. You can't do that all the time. Um, but Roy was going up and down between divisions. He was wilding. And I think Roy, once he went up to heavyweight, man, I think it, I think the speed and carrying, I think it made him lazy. I think it made him slow, and I think that was all they needed to get him. I don't think he was able to recover from putting all of that weight on. Um, Eric, what everybody, Thurman not what everybody think he is, and I saw that in Thurman Barrios fight. I think he needs to retire and stay retired. Yeah, I don't know what Thurman is or what he isn't, but I do agree with you that he didn't look good in the Barrios fight, and he lost to Pacquiao. So but do do we know or do we think that Thurman could have beaten Pacquiao or should have beaten Pacquiao? Maybe there was something wrong in his mental. Maybe the plan for the training wasn't right. Or maybe Pacquiao was just a better fighter. But why is it that I and so many others, I guess, feel like Thurman is the better fight for Spence when Pacquiao beat Thurman recently? Um, Thurman broke his elbow against Garcia. He's looked to happen since. Yeah, man, that fight was a motherfucking war, bro. Thurman versus Garcia. If you want to watch a really great fight, that fight was a great fight. I really enjoyed the Thurman versus Garcia fight. Um, oh, that's not right, Jameson Edwards, man. Don't do that, man. We can't compare how one person fought another person and critique. I know Little Tank Davis stopped him, but Lil Tank Davis has the highest knockout ratio in boxing, right? So he might be little, but he puts people to sleep almost every time he gets in the ring. Um, Thurman hasn't done that in a long time. That's just the point of it. Maybe he's not even fighting for the knockout. Tank is definitely aiming for the knockout every fight. So we can't judge it that way. But you're right. He didn't look good. And Tank did knock out Barrios. Little Tank did knock him out. Oh, man. Oh, man. Tank dropped him 3 times. Impressive fashion. He did. He did. I can't lie to y'all, man. He did. He did. And again, you can't really compare it like that. But Thurman professes himself to be one time. He better change his name to 2, 3 times, 4 times Thurman because one time is no longer there. It's gone. Yeah, yeah, you're right. You can compare. It's not apples and oranges. It is definitely apples to apples. Um, Thurman is a bigger version of Tank and should be a stronger version of Tank. And he's a knockout artist. So you're right. But what if Barrios comes back from the Tank fight, goes back in camp, and makes sure that doesn't happen? I mean, Tank didn't knock him out with a headshot. He caught him with body shots, right? So that can be fixed. Right? Getting knocked out with a headshot, if you can't really fix that, it's whatever tolerance your head has for whatever amount of power. But the body shot knockout that can be fixed. So what if Barrios went back and did a lot to fix that? You know, because it's very possible. But Tank dropped him 3 times though, or 2 times. I forget. He dropped him twice. Let's see. Tank gonna get better, extremely worse. Let him work harder for the third fight. That's a fact. That's a fact. Barrios definitely work harder. But look who Tank is. A hell of a boxer because most of this fight's ever knocked out. That's a self. Listen, I don't like the fact that people make it seem like Tank getting or going for knockouts in every fight is like a sign that he's depending on his power. Okay, if Tank was like a Deontay Wilder or Anthony Joshua or Errol Spence, and when I name these guys, I'm talking about, or even a Terrence Crawford, I'm talking about guys that are bigger than most of their opponents when they go in the ring. If Tank was one of these guys and he was getting beat round after round the way he does, and then he go in there and get the knockout, then I would agree with those people that are saying he's dependent on his power. But Tank is the smaller guy in the ring in 90% of his fights, right? To be able to get around somebody who's taller than you, to get around their jab, to get around all of their tactics, and be able to get in close enough to get the leverage in order to knock somebody out. It takes immense boxing skills. Immense boxing skills. Tank gets so much credit because he's not just getting in close enough to touch him. He's getting inside close enough for a body shot knockdown. Multiple body shot knockdowns. Headshot knockouts. Drawing people in closer to him. Lulling them asleep by taking damage. He's not taking the damage going in like a pit bull and pardon the pun, I don't mean Pitbull Cruz, but going in like a tank, pardon the pun, I don't mean like Javante Tank Davis, but going in just taking damage in order to get through obtusely to the target and knock them out. No. Tank is taking damage in order to create patterns and set traps for his opponents. And then he sets the trap, they fall for it, and he knocks them out every single time. Facts, I hate when people act like Tank isn't skilled fighting, but Nash has shown more versatility in the ring than a lot of guys. It's a fact. I tell people all the time. Yeah, man. Put some respect on Tank's boxing skills, man. We got to put some respect on Tank's boxing skills, man. Because as a little guy, man, this guy is really a little guy. But nah, you got a point, because Cruz is exactly what his nickname says he is. And that's a pit bull looking for a bite. Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact, right? And Tank doesn't fight like that. Tank does not fight like that. He doesn't just put his head down and rush in trying to get a knockout. Tank is very strategic, and not only is he very strategic, but you got to think that he's an entertainer. He's not just an entertaining fighter, he is entertaining in the ring. And when I say entertaining, I mean he's entertaining the crowd while he's in the ring. And You guys, when you're talking about an artist, you got to understand what the art form is, right? While Tank is in the ring, he's making the fight exciting and carrying the other fighter into a situation that the fans and the people paying pay-per-view want to see. That takes such an immense level of skill. You have to be so many levels above your opponent in order to do that. See, most fighters, when they get in the ring, they're fighting to win the fight by any means necessary and as soon as possible. And the reason why is because it's boxing and anything can happen. One punch can end it at any point. So for Tank to be sitting in the ring and doing what for any other boxer you would call playing around, and to be successful, and in instances like when they said that he was down against Barrios, come in and just end the fight immediately. That shows how much control he genuinely is in his fights. Man, Tank is starting to figure fighters out too. Don't mess around and not be fast with your comeback, with your combos. He can time cats when they are trying to time him. He's amazing. That's a fact. Tank is amazing. Man, my eyes are closed out this bitch, bro. Y'all know why my eyes are closed. Anyway, yeah, Tank is amazing, man. Straight up and down. No question about it. Um, my only concern for Tank is the one thing that he's dealt with his entire life, and because he's dealt with it his entire life, do we consider it a disadvantage? And that's his height. Tank is incredibly small. He just is. He's incredibly small. Amazingly, Pitbull Cruz is smaller than Tank. Man, that was like a midget fight. But judging by his performance against Barrios, is there an opponent that is no good for Tank? Yeah, man, he's a really short fighter, really short arms. He's able to get in and out and do what he has to do, and he's shown that it's not negatively affecting him to the point where he's going to lose a fight, or to the point where he's out of control of the fight or the outcome. And I think that's another credit to Tank, is that we've never seen Tank in a fight where he wasn't in control, and I think that's amazing. You know, we've seen Terrence Crawford get rocked, wobbled, hit the ground almost. Well, hit the ground for sure. We've seen Errol Spence get rocked, wobbled, fall up against the ropes. We've seen Floyd get rocked, wobbled, stanky leg, walking. We've seen Adrian Broner get humped. We've seen Sean Porter knocked down. Thurman on his ass. So to be in control of the fight, even Canelo we seen knocked down. Terrence Crawford didn't get wobbled. Oh man, brother, don't do that. I got two for you. Terrence Crawford versus Gamboa. Stinky leg. Oh my God, Gamboa put a bus head on Terrence Crawford. Then let's talk about Terrence Crawford versus your what's this guy's name? Oh man, Igis Kavliaskis. Huh? Kavliaskis put Terrence on his floor. He put him on the floor. He put him on his knees, dog. Put him on his knees. Announcers like, why the ref didn't call that a knockdown? That's supposed to be a knockdown. Even Andre Ward, Terrence Boyd, said that's supposed to be a knockdown. Tank versus Martin. I think that's a good fight. I think it's a great fight. I think Tank knocks Martin out. I think, or if he don't knock him out, I think he drops him for sure. I think he drops him. I think Martin. I think anybody at 130, 135 is too small. I think they're too small to fight Tank. Tank has put damage and hurt guys way bigger than him. I've seen Tank fighting guys as big as 150, right? So, and hurting guys at 150. So, I think Tank stops Martin. I think Martin Martin needs more time, more experience. But let me ask you a question about Tank versus Martin. Do you think Errol Spence allows the Tank versus Martin fight to happen? Do you think Errol Spence has confidence in his guy that much that he thinks he'll be Tank? And let me be clear, I have 100% faith and confidence in that Errol Spence can't. Errol Spence, Jamal Charlo, I can't remember Errol Spence's coach's name right now, but the coach, he should be coach of the year. But I got 100% faith in that camp and their style of fighting. So I do believe that Frank Martin won't get. I do believe Frank Martin will give us a great fight against Tank for the entire fight until it ends, in the stoppage. But I do think that Frank Martin gives us a great fight. I also think that it's possible that Tank can get winded in a fight against Frank Martin. And if Tank gets winded in a fight against Frank Martin, I think he might be in a little bit of trouble. But that's my take on that. Derek James, thank you. Jameson Aaron's. Thank you. Derek James. Oh my God. Man, hey, if there's anything that's great about this YouTube thing, it's that right there. Because there's nothing worse than having something on the tip of your tongue and you can't figure out the name. You go crazy. And for you guys to all be here and be able to drop a name for me, man. Oh man, thank you so much. Eric Black. Shout out to you. Derek James not letting that happen at all. Errol know what's up with Tank. And that's not gonna happen. Derek James would know what to do, but will it help considering Martin's inexperience? Yeah, man. I don't think Errol Spence or Derek James would put Frank Martin in the ring with Tank. I don't. That's their prospect. That's their baby. They got a way to groom that up and take him through the ranks, so that they can milk and make some money. So it doesn't make sense putting him in there with a Tank right now. That doesn't make sense. I think they should probably spar for sure. Or what's there to be said? Is there something to be said about taking a loss to a superior fighter and it not hurting your career like Canelo Alvarez did, like with Floyd? Hmm? Has Floyd ruined boxing to the point where a black fighter can't take a loss, or is it possible, like Canelo did when he took his loss to Floyd, that if you lose to a fighter that's that great, that it really increases your stock? Hmm. Stevenson versus Martin. Hmm. Martin and Tank sparred before, so Tank knows he could beat him then, because Tank said already on live, you better stop before you get your little dog hurt. You know what I'm saying? So Tank already knows what the outcome of that fight will be. So yeah, that won't happen. It's amazing how boxers are so intertwined with each other and how they all spar with each other before real fights ever happen. What up, Byron Bradley? Chilling in here, just getting the chit chat on, talking some shit. I don't think that the loss matters. It's who and how you lose. Yeah. Pitbull is an example. He lost and his stocks raised. Yeah, you're right, man. But again, like Jameson said, Ryan, like Jameson said, it's about who and how you lose to. So so losing the tank is a plus for some fighters, but some fighters disappear after the loss to tank, right? And I think I think the way Barrios fought Tank, his stock goes up. And I think the way Pitbull fought Tank, his stock goes up afterwards. I think that's why their stock went up. These guys look like warriors and they were in there fighting their lives away before, in Barrios' case, Tank ended it. And in Pitbull's case, and he just got outpointed until the end of the fight. Um, so y'all are really getting to something. They put on a great fight. I think the loss aspect of boxing has affected boxers because of the commenters. They have actually been able to manipulate boxers' value more than their records. Just look at some of their pound for pound lists. That's true. Um, I really don't understand what the judgment is on the pound for pound list anymore. I don't know what makes somebody pound for pound, um, except that they should be moving through the ranks. So Crawford being really high on the pound for pound list is fair to me, even though it burns my soul that Errol Spence isn't. And the reason why I believe that that's fair is because Errol Spence hasn't um, gone through divisions dominating in the way that Terrence Crawford has. And that going through divisions dominating is what makes you pound for pound. So that's that on that. Uh, Now we talking turkey. See, that's the thing is with this race thing in boxing. All you have right now is black and Mexican champions. The only great white hope you have now is Josh Taylor. I mean, they still got Tyson Fury out there somewhere floating like the Gypsy King. Um, but you got to understand, black and Hispanic, and I won't just say Mexican, even though Mexico is doing a thing right now. I'm going to say all Hispanic fighters, especially Mexican and Central American fighters, um, have an edge when it comes to the fight sports, right? Where we come from, we kind of raised in it. We're born into fighting, most of us. Uh, we practice fighting and boxing every day of our lives growing up as kids. So we kind of have an edge against some of the other races that don't practice that thing at home. You know, most white kids don't practice fighting with their friends. You know, like, I mean, real fighting. Like, I don't know about the Mexican community, but I've seen documentaries about what happens in Central America in the mountains when y'all get your families together and get to beat in each other's faces, and right. So and then hug afterwards. So you know, in the black community, we fight for real with each other and then hug afterwards. We our gangs beat each other up and then we hug afterwards. So we do have an advantage when it comes to the fight game. I forget the guy's name, but you know the no black fighter rule. And you know, he said it that you go to any hood and ask them to snap off a jab and they can do it real fast. So That's I agree with you on that with the black and Hispanic fighters thing. I do agree with you on that. But I don't think it's because white people are any less dominant or um, any less skilled. I think that, just like basketball, most black people and like soccer, most Hispanic people um, have been playing this thing since babies. We didn't just pick up ourselves one day because we liked something and went to a facility and got involved in something. You know, we were born into a way of living that includes these activities. And then some of us pursue these activities to the point where we excel and are able to get paid off of them. Okay, Josh Taylor, mad overrated, in my opinion. But Josh Kelly is getting some traction. But David Adonijah put an end to that. Yeah, bro, that's crazy, right? You don't hear. Listen, you know what? I don't like to talk too much business, but let's talk business. This is the first quarter, all right? So all budget shit can possibly happen. Let's see how many fights we get January until April. Between January and April, let's see how many fights get made because it's the first quarter and there's a lot of extra money going on. Budgets have been redone. Eric, let's see. And with that, Canelo being the champion he is, comes with a lot of flows and scandals. Tyson Fury is heavyweight, so we tend to shy away from them. But I agree. But black fighters are golden right now, facts. Um, yeah, man. Throughout boxing, though, black fighters have always had a place amongst the champions. You know, um, and again, I think that just comes from how we're brought up in the inner cities. I think that, you know, as black fighters, a lot of us, you know, we grow up as black people, we grow up fighting, and we grow up tussling. And I don't want to get into the race thing with boxing. And the reason why I don't is because I think boxing is one of the most racist sports. I think it's probably the most racist sport. Um, And when I say that, I don't mean that with any hatred because I think the racism in boxing um, demonstrates a healthy way um, that racism can exist. And if you feel like it, we'll remove the word racism and call it tribalism. But there's a healthy way that this tribalism can exist, and and that is through boxing has shown that. When people go to a boxing match, when people watch it on TV, you're watching and see the person that looks like you beat the person that doesn't look like you. And I don't care really who you are as a fan, that's usually the way your betting goes. That's usually the way who you're rooting for goes. You're usually rooting for the person who looks like you to beat the person who does not look like you. Um, I don't think that that's an unhealthy tribalism. I think that that form of tribalism is actually very healthy for a community and for a people. Uh, it doesn't reflect itself in a negative way. There's not anger and hatred in boxing. Um, the boxer who made the most money in history is a black man. So, as far as racism and the institution of boxing, um, it doesn't affect the bottom line if it does exist. So I think boxing can be a shining example of how tribal, how racism can be toned down to the point where we can call it tribalism. And at that point, we can have real discussions about the differences between people and the reasons why there are differences between people. Yeah. But anyway, let's get back to the boxing talk. Damn, y'all been going in this chat. You said 154. Hey, bro, we really think Terrence Crawford is going up there to fight the Charlo? Do we think do we think Terrence Crawford has a chance against Charlo? Come on, somebody tell me something. I'm gonna do more, Jameson. I'm definitely gonna do one tomorrow. So, if we don't think he could beat Charlo, do we think that he attempts to fight Charlo? Do we think that Terrence Crawford generally makes that attempt, or is Terrence Crawford clout chasing, using names to promote fights? Because he definitely used Errol Spence to promote his Avenesian fight. Half of that, them pay-per-view sales, he owes it to Errol Spence. Let's just be honest. Right? So, what do we think? If he can beat Superman, he can beat Charlo. Who's the Superman he beat? You really going in, Jameson, huh? You really think he gonna beat fucking Charlo? That ain't happening, bruh. He ain't beating no Charlo. Let me see if I could drop a link for y'all, man. I'm dropping a link for y'all real quick, man. See if anybody want to jump up. Yeah, man. For sure. For sure he ducking. He been ducking. Been ducking. So we got Crawford, Spence, and Charlo was all cap. So if Charlo was all cap, why do we think that Spence is a possibility? Mm. He was up to 154. He wanted Charlo to worry about. Because that dude, Bebo, is there's no way. I don't see him up at 154. There's no way he fights Bebo. And does he go up to 154 and try to do what he did at 147 and pick off all the low hanging fruit at 147 in order to say that he then became a champion at 147? Right? I don't see him being able to do that at one. Charlo is a few inches taller, got the reach, hits harder, goes to the body, can take a bunch. Terrence Crawford don't stand a chance. You said that right, Joseph. That motherfucker don't stand a motherfucking chance. Hmm? Not a chance. Damn, I'm cursing again. I gotta really cut this cursing out, man. Oh, yeah. You don't stand a chance, though. Not one bit. How? Hmm? How you gonna jump up to 154? You gonna jump up to 154? You getting rocked by a dude that was 130. Gamboa rocked you. But you going to 154? I don't see how. I don't see how that makes any sense to me. You know, that's how it goes. Oh, don't do that, man. He dropped Benavidez. Come on, man. Benavidez got shot in the freaking knee. Come on. They try to take Benavidez out of boxing and he still struggled his way back. Benavidez needs a documentary about him talking about his struggle back to the ring and how amazing he is for doing it. But what we're not going to do is give nobody credit for beating a one legged man. All right? We cannot give Terrence Crawford credit for that because if Benavidez has 2 feet, he's fighting a different person completely. Benavidez was limping in the ring. He was in the ring with a knee brace on, with a leg brace on. Come on, man. Shout out to Crawford. He's definitely skilled. Bro. I'm not saying he's not skilled. Shout out to him. But we ain't giving him no credit for Benavidez fight, man. I can't give him no credit for that. Um, what else we got to chop it up about, man? I'm getting tired as fuck. Damn, I keep cursing, man. Y'all gotta keep me from cursing, man. I really can't be cursing on this YouTube. And Benavidez was putting a whooping on, but he did his due. Yeah, Benavidez was putting work in on Crawford. That's what I'm saying. If it was two leg Benavidez, it might have been a completely different story. This move that Terrence Crawford just pulled with Spence, it does leave a bad taste in my mouth, Joseph. It does. Um, I think there was a way he could have went about it, that he could have taken the Avenesian fight and still had my respect. I think he could have come out honestly and said, listen, I want to fight Spence, but I got this $10 million bag here that there's no way possible I could turn down. Y'all wouldn't turn it down. Nobody would turn it down. You understand? Everybody would go take that fight. Everybody would. The problem is that that's not how he came across. He didn't tell us that. He said it was Aaron Spencer's fault. He did everything in his power. Couldn't you did everything in your power if you had another fight in your back pocket with a venue, fighter, gloves, chosen. Like, come on, bro. It's too much that goes into making a fight for you. Just say it just happens on, just popped up on. You want to see Amy versus Bolton. He gonna knock him out. He gonna knock him out. Anyway, gonna knock him out. Come on, bro. You know what he's talking about, Mister Knock him out. He gonna knock him out. The question is it gonna be embarrassing for Fulton? You know, is he still gonna have a career left? I don't know. Ugh. But we all night, y'all. We ain't going nowhere. We all night. All right. For those of y'all that been with us from the beginning, shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all. For those of y'all that just come in, shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, do all of that for me. Spread out the stream. I'm gonna try to do some streams every night with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to get on here every night and chop it up with y'all about one thing or the other. Um, question: we talking boxing every night, all night, or we mixing up the topics? You know, because I'm an eclectic person. I can talk about anything. You know. Okay, let's see what we got going on. He said it was about the books, but if the books didn't matter, and you agree to all terms and conditions before the fight. Why worry about things you can't control? I see Terrence Crawford body language change a lot since that confrontation. Oh my, you cold blood. Yeah. I definitely gonna. Hey, Eric, I'm definitely link everything to boxing, man. I like talking boxing. I just wanted to know what y'all were into. You know what I'm saying? Um, but his body language did change a lot in that meeting, right? In the meeting when they met at Errol Spence in the red hoodie and all that. When they met that day, Terrence Crawford looked like a fan of Errol Spence. He looked like a fan of his. He didn't look like he was competing for anything but for his attention. Um, that being said, I don't know if that feeling lingered after that. I believe that if you're a fan of somebody, you're a fan of somebody, and it doesn't really just end just because you get a little bigger. But I think Terrence Crawford definitely showed that he looked up to Errol Spence that night. And I think that in future situations, um, when they meet again, the same thing might happen. You know, um, what else we got? I'm gonna go to 2 o'clock, y'all, and then I'm gonna sign off for this joint. Cause I got a lot going on right now, and if I don't freaking get some shut motherfucking eye, and yes, I'm at work talking about getting some shut eye, I'm gonna go to sleep because they might put me in a dungeon, but this dungeon is my own little office with my own little microwave, my own little fridge. You know what I'm saying? This is what I do for a living. In case y'all wanted to know, I deal with fire safety and shit like that, engineers and contractors and shit like that. Um, so I'm definitely going to take some sleepyhead. Oh man, but did the same thing Jones did, and you see how that worked out for Jones. That's a fact. That's a fact. Um, Bud is moving up. I don't think Bud goes up to 154 though, man. I don't think so. I don't. If it was an empty division, then yeah, going up there and play. And Bud, because Bud has a way of going up to the division and not fighting anybody. So, he'll bring up a whole bunch of people from the division below him and fight them. So he'll just fight them at 154. And he'll avoid Charlo altogether while using his name for the clout. You know, that's what I see. It's crazy that you said that because Errol used to always say he was a Terrence Crawford fan. Yeah, I don't doubt that. I mean, Terrence Crawford was fighting long before Errol Spence was, so I don't doubt that Spence used to watch Terrence Crawford's fights. But when they met, I did see that Terrence Crawford looked like he looked up to Errol Spence. Watch the video again, see if I'm making it up. Maybe I'm crazy. No, we'll talk about it the next time I come on here. But I definitely think that Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence don't see each other as equals. I think Terrence Crawford understands that Errol Spence is the bigger fish, pardon the pun. I think that he understands that he's the bigger draw. Um, and I think he understands that he deserves a higher payout. So I think that the request for 50-50 is is a duck tactic, honestly. It's a way to duck without looking like you duck. Hey, you tired, bro? Get some shut eye, bro. I'm subscribed, so I'll be looking for the notification. That's for sure. Shout out to you, Eric, man. I appreciate that, man. I really do. Appreciate that. I'm gonna holler at y'all tomorrow. Probably get her on um around 12 or so, and we do it again, and we get to chopping it up and seeing what it do. Um, hopefully, I get to stay on longer with y'all, and of course, I'm always dropping new videos every day. Um, we're gonna get these numbers back up to where they were before YouTube had me striked out, man. If y'all be watching my videos and y'all wondering where the videos went, YouTube had me on 2 strikes, man. I was paranoid, bro. YouTube gave me a strike for putting up the video of Shakur Stevenson fighting in the street, right? But I got the video off of YouTube, so I don't know how that works. But anyway, I do appreciate y'all coming through, and I do appreciate any time that y'all spend with me, and I enjoy spending it with y'all. Um, I'm happy for all the commentary that was going on in the chat, and I like going back and forth with y'all, so I appreciate it. Um, again, I see y'all tomorrow, man. These are my thoughts of a rambling mind. Like, share, subscribe, and I'm out.